This conference will now be recorded.
All right, guys. So, as always, everything we're going to be talking about today is for educational purposes only, and nothing is intended as any type of investment advice. So, one thing that I do want to say, and I said this in the chat before I left for lunch and before I came back, but I'm very proud about today. It was not an easy day. There just wasn't really a ton that was going on out there. So I'm definitely very proud of everybody in the chat for making it seem like it really wasn't, because one of those things that we talk about all the time, and it's that patience. Everybody had. We waited for the right trades. It was just it's just it's incredible how much things have changed ever since leaving. For that, as you guys know, I take a week off every single quarter, and for that, and at this time wasn't a full week because of the on-site, but coming back, it's just amazing how much you guys are following your rules, and you come watching it pay off in real time. It's just a great thing to see. Let's talk about Baba. So Baba. Pretty cut and dry. It really hasn't been that hard. We had some great selling that came into that 155, that came into there 3 different times. Now, this time, as we've been coming back down, there really should have pulled up more from that 155. It really should have, but there's 2 kind of sides of the coin of it. So number 1 is the fact that that 155 really should pull up more because of the amount of times that it hit. But it also shows us right here, if we look, you can see 1, 2, 3. Eventually, that's why we look at these triple tops, and we went over this, I think it was Traders Exchange last week. But when we have that, eventually these buyers are going to die out. And if you looked into that 155, we just had phenomenal selling. Now, keep in mind the entry was right here, which is an absolutely beautiful entry coming back down. Did not hit the 157. We ended up triggering back into it. So would have already been in. We know 155 was going to be forgive my language, but a pain in the ass. All right. And we, went into that consolidation. But one thing that we looked at is it really held that 155 well. And remember what we talked about. So we're going to do tomorrow in the in Traders Exchange. We're going to talk about the path of least resistance for a little bit. So overall, one of the things that we just had to look at was we know that volume is going to be above average today. We could see that even as it was about 11:15, you could already see that that was going to happen based off of what we saw on our daily. So the path of least resistance to get to that 373, instead of coming all the way from 155 up to our highs of 157.23 and then adding another $1.10, the path of least resistance was easier, way easier to hit that range. And not only hit that range, but keep in mind, 373 is the average. We're going to break that average. So I'm not seeing anything that tells us that we really don't have more room towards that downside. But overall, guys, just an absolutely phenomenal trade. One of the easiest $3 trades we've seen over the last few weeks. Oh, definitely. But you know what? At the end of the day, they're going to be out there over and over again. It's funny because when people start following the rules, they all of a sudden we just start to see these wonderful trades. These easy, not even wonderful trades, but these easy trades that come out there. But you have to remember something. It has a lot to do with following exactly what you're taught and exactly what we talk about day in and day out. So absolutely phenomenal job. Took all morning, but was worth it. Team watching and helped a lot too. Yeah, well, I mean, there was pretty much nothing else but for us to look at. So obviously, Baba, we're going to continue to watch as we're coming back in. I really like this position right there. Nothing huge, but at that 154.20, I did like what I saw with that selling coming in. And then overall, just going back towards those prints as we were coming to that 154, we really did not get much, but 154.35, 100,000 shares, which it is not popping up on the print line because it's popping up on another screen. But at the same time, keep that in mind. Make sure you write that number down because that's a very important level for it to be able to hold. And then coming down, once again, towards that 154, just great selling that came in above it. But once again, the 154.50 had a little bit of cover, but we're going to have to expect that because overall, I still do at the end of the day expect it to make a nice move back up above 155 because it usually is not that easy, especially with the amount of selling we saw at that 155. Next thing, looking at ALLK. So this morning, unfortunately, the volume died pretty quickly, which was not a great thing. But one thing that I really do like to see here is that we've had great buying as this thing's been coming back up. And then you can see right here, beautiful show of hands, 70.50, beautiful buying up. We're going to be expecting it to pull underneath 70. And the reason I say underneath 70 is because we go over here, you can see there is still selling that's sitting there from that 1 o'clock time period that it has not really broken under yet. So based off of the 70.50 ask prints that we have up here, and then based off that selling at that 70 level, I'm really going to be looking for something to break past down there below. Perfect case scenario would be really coming towards this orb line before coming back up. Might be a little bit more based off the selling, based off the buying that we saw at 70.50. So nice little setup that we have sitting right there. Now, I always kind of look for things for a little bit longer term. Not all the time, but when something pops up and it doesn't fit the way that I would trade it within a day trade, I'm still going to bring it up. And I want you to take a look real quick at W. I'm not sure if anybody's watching it, but as W has been coming down today, and it really hasn't been on the greatest volume, but just because it doesn't trade great volume. On average, it moves $5.73, but overall, it only trades about 1.8 million shares, which is not much whatsoever. But just look at this right here, and I wanted to talk about the variables for a second for you, longer term option trader or whatever type of trader, if you're holding overnight swing trader, so on and so forth. But if you look at 122 here, look at the actual orders available out there. Look at the volume that we see today, which is 1.8. It's going to break over average. So it's, that part doesn't really, isn't that crazy, but still, okay, it's not going to break over average by a lot. But this is what we call difficulty of trade, because I know sure as hell right this second that if I tried to get this many shares short right now, no one's filling me. There's just not enough volume there. Trading 1.8 thousand shares a minute, which is literally nothing. Then seeing the red elephant and never look at the red elephant in the room, man. But just something that I saw, guys, when I was doing my scanning, and when I see something like this, it's something that I'm going to pay attention to, because that trade within itself is just a very, very hard thing to execute. So as a day trade, absolute garbage. 1.8 thousand shares. I mean, that's literally not even enough for me to trade. But at the end of the day, like you can see, I mean, just very, very beautiful. So make sure you make a note of that if you are a longer term trader. All right. And then also GLYC. I still have from this morning, not a lot, but I still have shares in GLYC. Oh, well, short. I'm still short GLYC from this morning. And as I just started talking for the first time ever, I'm actually be able to still be in it, and I did not miss it coming back. But if you come down to this 3 level, you can see, I mean, just the 250 level just printed selling over and over and over again. But look at this selling burst that we had at 324. And then it's not showing anything at the 3, which we're going to have to kind of pull up a little bit, especially after this volume burst. And we're going to need to see something there to show us a continuation. But overall, 324 right here. The only problem that I have with this 324, these bid prints, is the fact that really, in a stock like GLYC, 25 cents is perfectly acceptable to make on an actual trade. So I really would like to see some more selling towards that bottom, just to show us that we're going to be able to continue and keep on going. But this was a beautiful short this morning. Basically did exactly what we thought it was going to do. Remember, pull-ups and pull-downs on a $4 stock are not going to be huge. So really followed the rules completely perfect. So I'm still going to be watching this afternoon, because volume isn't really that bad. Of course, I would like to see it better, but 35,000 shares. We could see volume was increasing a little bit on this push towards that side. So we're going to watch that one as well. And I want to talk about Facebook for a second, because I just keep seeing selling coming into Facebook. So it's not going to pull up on here, but we did, as we were coming back down to this 182 level let's look at the time real quick. At 12:49, so right before 1 o'clock, we ended up getting those bid prints at 182, and we're coming back up. There was only about 4, but once again, Facebook just hasn't been printing a ton of stuff today, especially during the afternoon time. All right, so just something to keep in mind, because if we look 425, it's at 429. But it should be about average. But just for the longer term side of things, I just want you to understand we're still seeing selling coming into here. So there's something, that's obviously something that you want to pay attention to. So really, our list is pretty small for the afternoon. Not a ton that's going on out there, but at the same time, we definitely have some good stuff to look at. So let's make sure, we're not giving anything back from this morning, because if this morning tells us anything, is that this afternoon, we're not going to force anything. There's just absolutely no reason for it based off of the prints that we're seeing. We have a lot of stuff that are buy range, but we also have, like I said, like BABA and some other things out there that are showing us that they have more room to go. All right, guys, anything else out there that I missed? Anything else going on that I did not see? Nope. All right, beautiful. All right, guys, so let's get ready for the afternoon. I'll see everyone in the chat, and happy trading.